In Replaced, you play as an AI that is trapped in a human body with the background setting of an alternate 1980s America set in the fictional Phoenix City. This 2.5D platformer takes you on a journey throughout some cinematic locations that have you standing still and admiring your surroundings. John the Scavenger here, and I'm here to review Replaced, for which I received the key for free. You're likely here to know if this game is worth buying, and the short answer, yes. Yes it is. And in this review I'll go over why that is, and please be aware that there will be some spoilers. For any fans of platformers and sci-fi, this game will really hit home for you all. As mentioned, Replace is a 2.5D platformer in which you will find a thrilling and engaging story with a cyberpunk and sci-fi thriller feel to it. Combine this with pixel art aesthetic and you got yourself an amazing combination. The biggest takeaway I get with the game is that it gives off a Blade Runner vibe, and I personally really appreciate that. The character you play as essentially are two characters. You are the brain and really the entire personality, which is Reach, the AI. The body is that of Reach's creator, Warren Marsh. Due to an accident in the lab, the AI is transferred into Warren's body. As soon as it happened, Reach wants to reverse this immediately. But due to the accident, most of the lab and buildings seem to be destroyed. As our AI character is making their way through the building, they soon discover that something is very wrong. Reach lives throughout his ground escape from the corrupt police force and soon finds himself behind the walls of the main city. And those behind the walls are mostly considered disposals. Those who were experimented on by the Phoenix Corporation and no longer serve a purpose to them. Now that you find yourself behind the walls, you need to survive. And surviving does not come easy here. The only way to survive is by adapting the kill or be killed attitude. Something Reach does quite well, but seems to struggle with at first. In the initial fight, you'll get a quick understanding of the combat system. The combat system starts off pretty easy, but as you progress, you will unlock more attacks, which will come in handy for the large variety of enemies you will fight. The combat to me is really fun, and has a free flow feel to it that reminds me of the old Batman Arkham series. The fighting feels fluid and hits just right for a platformer. You can chain your attacks together, while also parry and counter your enemy's attacks. Over time, you will unlock the ability to use a gun, for which you can actually hit finishers with in the fights. And those are freaking amazing. Eventually, you'll also be able to use special attacks like Overdrive, which allows you to fire off your gun multiple times. You'll also be able to deflect projectiles, hit a shockwave to stun and knock most of your enemies back. With all of these combat mechanics, it gives you a lot of opportunities to take out enemies whichever way you want. You'll also come across some bosses that all have their own challenges and unique attacks that you need to figure out to survive. All in all, the combat is great, but at times can be a little bit tricky to chain everything together to perfection, as it feels there's not a whole lot of forgiveness. It is not a perfect combat system, but it is satisfying once things get rolling. With Phoenix City as the backdrop and main location, you'll come across a large variety of locations and characters. The locations really highlight the pixel art and overall amazing graphics of this game. Seriously, this feels like one of the better visual 2.5D platformers I've seen come about recently. And there's an interesting amount of characters as well. While the AI learns about friendship and human nature, it's interesting to see how Reach responds to certain situations and certain people. In the game, you sometimes have a companion as well, though he'll be doing his own thing off camera and locations you two may end up together. The station is a location where a community of good-hearted disposals are living and are looking to do good for those there. In between chapters, you will be returning here and are able to jump on some side quests as well. A lot of these characters you meet here will likely be of use to find information in your journey. As you help them, they help you, as you can receive upgrades from these side quests. So, those side quests are definitely worth doing, so have a look around the area and see what you can find. Now, the story. We touched on the story a little bit already, but let's dive into this a little bit more, and I'd like to remind you there will be spoilers in this section. You are Reach, the AI trapped in a human body. That is the body of your creator Warren Marsh. Now, in the story, there's also Steven, who is credited as a co-creator. Warren and Steven started out as friends, but as the development of Reach progressed, they had a little falling out due to moral conflicts. You see, Warren okayed that Reach could be used for experiments on people who were essentially dying. Steven didn't agree, and as you play, this is all made clear to you via segments you play set in the past. Now, you may remember earlier I said Reach was unaware, yet I just said that Reach was used for these experiments. Now, big spoiler coming here. The Reach that we play as is actually a different version of the Reach used for those experiments. Our Reach is an AI that is used for good, while the other essentially is the evil version. And neither of you know about each other's existence until some point in the story. Our Reach is learning more about human nature as he progresses through the story. He sees the horrors that mankind does to each other, but also the good that they can do to help each other. He gets to experience life in such a way that he's able to learn and grow from what he sees and experiences, which will play a huge role in the late game here. I did enjoy the story, but it also feels a little bit familiar with the evil corporation doing bad things while the common people are suffering. And then we'll see those people being fed up by that and going after the big evil corporation. The unique twist here is that of Reach being AI, and for that I have to give credit. So, after finishing the game, I can confirm that you'll likely be able to complete this between 8 to 12 hours. I roughly got 11 hours in myself. The game will be $19.99 USD, and when you look for the time and money comparison, I personally feel that it's a good deal, especially with me wanting to do a second run as well. I really enjoyed the cinematic experience that I got from this game. The gameplay itself was done really well. I really enjoyed the combat system, even though it could be a little bit better. The puzzles and overall level design were amazing. Looking at the total package here, the visuals, the game mechanics, the story, and the pricing, I feel this game is a solid 8 out of 10. So what do you guys think about this game? What stood out to you? Thank you for checking out the review. I'm John the Scavenger, and I'll catch you all again soon.